Hi, I'm Bob Campbell with Alliance Solutions Group. And have you ever wondered how incident commanders and facilities make decisions about evacuation or shelter in place during a hazmat incident? Well, I can tell you, most of the time, incident commanders will rely on the emergency response guidebook for guidance. That's the starting point. Facilities will defer to their emergency action plan, which 9 out of 10 times tells them to evacuate. Well, these might not be the best decisions. So we created the evacuation and shelter in place workshop to share some of the science behind evacuation and shelter in place and all the other factors that you might need to consider to determine whether the right decision, what the right decision is for your facility or community. What is an evacuation shelter in place workshop? Well, it's a half day workshop where we go over the regulatory requirements, the guidance, and various resources from federal agencies and studies that have been done, models that have been created, simulations that have occurred, as well as actual releases that have informed better decision making related to this public protective action. So we want to help incident commanders as well as facilities make better decisions that are science based, backed up by the results of a number of different analyses that have taken place. So we'll take a look at case studies, we'll share best practices, and then we'll have a chance to let facilities examine their emergency action plans to share best practices with each other, but figure out how to incorporate and make the decision between shelter in place or evacuation. We share a little bit of information about the fast local evacuate emergency evacuation times model, which helps communities to determine how long will it take to evacuate an area, what are the safe routes, and take into considerations like time of day and population and mobility. We also take a look at and examine the jackrabbit study that was conducted out at Dugway Proving Ground, where there were several releases of chlorine made and monitors were placed in different infrastructure and facilities to study the effectiveness of shelter in place during a release and how good and how long you could shelter in place. So, our workshop compares and contrasts these two different models, the simulations, the data from the studies that have taken place, and we provide that to our participants in these workshops so they can refine their plans and their decision logic and make better decisions for their situation and the myriad of different factors that they might need to consider um, when it comes to deciding to evacuate or shelter in place during a hazmat incident. If you're interested in hosting one of these shelter in place evacuation workshops or learning more, contact me. I'm Bob Campbell with Alliance Solutions Group. You can use the phone number on the screen, my email, or scan the QR code to go to our website and learn more about our services for LEPCs.